After installing the Dreamweaver 12.1 update, you probably won't notice an immediate difference, but once you start using it, you'll realize quite a lot has changed, with the main focus on support for HTML5. In this video, I'll give you a broad overview of the new features. If you use the default Designer workspace, the first thing you should do, unless you work frequently with Business Catalyst, is to open the Workspace menu and select Reset Designer. This closes the Business Catalyst and Browser Lab panels, reducing the amount of time it takes for Dreamweaver to launch. Of course, if you need either panel, you can always open them from the Window menu. Business Catalyst is here at the top, and it's got a keyboard shortcut, and Browser Lab is in Extensions. The main changes are in the Insert panel, Insert menu, and Property Inspector. The Insert panel and menu have been reorganized to remove less frequently used features and to make room for HTML5 features. If you're a regular user of the Insert menu, you might be puzzled by many items being in a different order. But it is a logical change. The menu now follows the same order as the Insert panel. So let's have a look at the Insert panel. I just close CSS Styles and expand it so we can see it a little bit better. Now, one of the first things that you probably noticed is that in the Common category you've now got options for HTML5 video and Canvas. What might not be quite so obvious is that when you mouse over the icons, they no longer change color. The option to display color icons in Dreamweaver has gone. This is because a large number of new icons have been added to the program. Whether color icons will come back in a future version is an open question, but let's look at some more important matters. The Layout category of the Insert panel and its equivalent on the Insert menu is now home to HTML5 semantic tags such as header, nav, aside, and article. There's a new Media category. This has options for Edge Animate Composition, HTML5 video and audio, as well as Flash Movies and Flash Video. In this page, I've inserted an Edge Animate composition. You can recognize it by the Animate logo in the placeholder here. And if I switch on Live View, there's the preloader and a slideshow that I created in Edge Animate. Close integration between Dreamweaver and Edge Animate makes importing animations like this slideshow a simple operation, and Dreamweaver automatically stores all the necessary assets in a dedicated folder. And the Forms category of the Insert panel now supports HTML5 input types like email, URL, and tell. One thing I ought to mention about the Forms category is that the Input Tag Accessibility Attributes dialog box has been removed, so Dreamweaver no longer automatically creates a label for input elements. You have to create the label using Label down at the bottom of the Insert panel here. The reason for this change is to reduce the number of dialog boxes and concentrate on the Property Inspector. In theory, that's a good idea because that's where many people do a lot of their work. However, having to add labels separately is inconvenient, and I understand the workflow will be improved in the next version. But let's take a quick look at some of the changes to the Property Inspector. In this page is an HTML5 video, and with the video placeholder selected, the Property Inspector gives you access to all the main features: source, poster, alternative sources. You can also set the controls, whether the video loops and plays automatically. There's also provision for Flash fallback. This is a great improvement. Previously, you had to do everything in Code View. The options for form elements in the Property Inspector have also been improved to give you access to HTML5 attributes. A feature that people have been asking for a long time is the ability to drag and drop files directly into the Files panel. Well, now you can do it. Here I've got Windows Explorer, and I'm going to drag and drop this kcposter.jpg into the Files panel. Let's just close that. And I want to put it here into the Video folder. So if I bring that focus back again, kcposter.jpg, and I want to put that into the video folder. So if I just drag it onto the video folder, there it is, it's dropped in there. And it makes a copy. The original still remains in its place. I'm using the Windows version here, but the same thing happens if you use the Finder in Mac. Coders will also appreciate a change to preferences. Let me just open the Preferences panel. And if you go to Code Format, there is now the option to insert tabs as spaces. It may be a small change, but it's one which will mean a lot to many coders. There are several other changes, such as different icons for standard and web fonts. This little icon here, which looks like a monitor, is for standard fonts, but if I open this here, you can see that the web fonts that I've installed have a different icon. This makes it easier to work out whether you're going to be using a web font or standard fonts. And there are other changes that you might not even notice, such as the removal of the tag editor and the tag chooser dialog boxes. I bet some of you didn't even know they existed. However, there are a couple of important changes on the Mac, so let's switch over to my Mac machine. There's a new live search field at the top of the Files panel. It uses Spotlight to search for files and text in files in the currently selected site. This is exclusive to the Mac version, so don't go looking for it on Windows. It's not there. The other important development on the Mac is that this version is compatible with high pixel density Retina displays. So instead of blurry icons, you should see crisp and sharp ones. So that's a whirlwind tour of the new features in the Dreamweaver 12.1 update. The main focus is on HTML5 with support for semantic tags, HTML5 video and audio, and new form inputs. There's also close integration with Adobe Edge Animate, and for Mac users, a new live search feature in the Files panel.